Karen, just to be clear, you didn't do it.
We know who did it, Steve. We know. And we know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
Yes, we do.
If John was beaten up and attacked in that house, who did it?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. And it's not for us to know. Somebody other than Karen is responsible for that, for the killing of John.
You are listening to the Roberta Glass True Crime Report, putting the true back in true crime. From New York City, Roberta Glass is now on the record. No, the content won't stop. It's going and going and going. We don't have any quit, right? We don't have no quit. Hey, Doris. Hey, Debbie Martin. Hey, Texas Brat. Hey, your latex spouse. Dark Side of the Moon. How are you? Just a quickie today talking about a post that Innocence Fraud Watch did. If you're not subscribed, you're missing out to their blog. Always coming with the juicy tidbits on the Karen Reed trial. There's a lot to talk about. Aidan Carney's hearing yesterday. Boy, does he sound like he has that judge wrapped around his finger. Looks like he's going to get out of those charges. Looks like they might also release a whole bunch of stuff in that case. Just basically, there is no Karen Reed case. Release all the phone records. Release just release everything. It looks like they're gonna. Aidan Carney's gonna have blogs and blogs for days to come. That's on that front. But on another front, what I wanted to talk about was this blog written by Innocence Fraud Watch called, let me get to it. Also have a little to talk about the Justice for John O'Keefe website. Always a puzzling piece of work. The most useless website ever. If you want a timeline, don't go there. If you actually want some factual information, like if you want to debunk the free Karen readers, don't go to the Justice for John O'Keefe website. They won't help you. So back to this Innocence Fraud Watch blog. I'm feeling very unfiltered today. So the easily offended might just switch off right now. Wrote, did liar and rubbernecker Brian Lucky Loughran, the Canton Department of Public Works snowplow driver, did he commit perjury during the retrial of cop killer Karen Reed? He has been interviewed for TMZ recently, and Loughran tells TMZ he always thought Karen was innocent. And going through, what an unbiased defense witness, and going through last year's proceeding, which ended in a mistrial, and this year's trial that ended in her acquittal earlier this week means she went through hell twice, strangely not wondering about what the O'Keefe family went through. Just concerned with the hell. You know how it was hell for Karen Reed. Being treated like Lady Diana everywhere she went, eating out, staying at the finest hotels, eating at the best restaurants, raking in $1 million+ dollars. And that's hell. And being treated like a hero. And because of Karen's struggle, Brian feels she deserves all the TV, movie, and book deals that are inevitably coming her way. with her fraudster lawyers. While Loughran says he's flattered Reed supporters thinks he played a critical role in helping her go free, he insists he was just doing his job, and he only told the truth on the stand. He's just a humble guy, just telling the truth. Well, did he? Someone in Free Karen Reed asked, this is interesting. Lucky said about 4 different times in trial 2 that he made his final pass on Fairview at 6:15, and he was blocked by police from being able to go all the way to Cedar Crest. He confirmed it with Hank and Yannetti. He said he came from Chapman Street, which is way south of Cedar Crest. At 6:19, he's seen on Cedar Crest and was coming from the north, which means he had to drive all the way up Cedar Crest before turning around and heading back south, which he said took about 10 minutes to do, to Cedar Crest. How the hell was he on Fairview South of all the emergency vehicles at 6:15 if he was on Cedar Crest at the exact same time? If he can be this far off, how the hell did he know when he saw a vehicle parked in front of the house? LOL. Yannetti coached him big time, but not very well. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, isn't it? So here we go. So at 6:10, snowplow driver Lucky Loughran passed by Fairview Road in his Franken truck while driving on Cedar Crest Road at around 6:10:50. The lights of Brian Loughran's snowplow could be seen flashing in the distance of Canton Police Sergeant Sarif's dash cam footage. Canton Police Officer Mullaney passed Brian Loughran as he turned left onto Fairview Road. At 6:19:28, Brian Loughran was still on Cedar Crest Road at 6:19:28, as can be seen in the still image from police dashcam footage. So here's the still image from the police dashcam footage from 6:19:28 of the lights from the snowplow driver Brian Lucky Loughran's Franken truck can be seen in the distance on Cedar Crest Road. And you can view the dash cam footage here. There's this truck going by. You can just see it. So, going forward, the following are extracts from page 5 of defendant's motion. So Karen Reed's motion for order. So one of her defense motions, Mr. Loughran further indicated that he did not want to plow in the Ford Edge as he continued driving down Cedar Crest rather than turning onto Fairview as he planned. Mr. Loughran indicated that he did not pass by 34 Fairview again after seeing this supposed Ford Edge. I don't think he saw anything until sometime around 6:30 on January 29th, 2022, at which point emergent vehicles had already left the area. During his testimony, referring to around 6:15 on January 29th, 2022, Lucky Loughran lies and says, I came from the Chapman Street side. In reality, Brian Loughran was on Cedar Crest Road at this time. Brian Loughran then lies and said, I turned right. There are 0 blue lights behind him. Brian Loughran then lies and says, yes, I noticed there were blue lights behind me, forcing me to pull over to the side of the road. There were police vehicles. In reality, as already said, Brian Loughran passed by over Officer Mullaney on Cedar Crest Road, who was traveling in the opposite direction on the other side of the road to Loughran and his snowplow. Also, Sergeant Good drove down Chapman Street and then onto Fairview Road, and his dash cam did not capture Brian Lucky Loughran in his snowplow truck because Loughran was still on Cedar Crest Road at this time. I mean, you want to get a here. We'll watch here. Oh, I think it's actually on the bottom of this, but okay, we're gonna have to sit.
In the early hours of
annoying.
July 4th, campers and residents near the Guadalupe River were caught completely.
I'm making so much every week with this simple app that I'm able to cover alimony and still have enough left over for a few rounds of golf.
Okay, so did everybody get a good view of that? Lucky Loughran's Franken truck just going right by. I mean, this goes all the way. Again, I mean, I won't bore you with all of this, but you can see some of it, how it just passed him. I mean, there's no one else out on the roads. Look at those conditions. Just a little flurry, says the Free Karen Read people. Just some light flurries. Wow, the conditions.
All right, we're coming up to Fairview right now. That's Spring, and then next one up. That's Fairview right there on the right.
Okay.
Good if I can take it.
All right. I just got mesmerized there by the crazy conditions. No mention of fire truck or ambulance. Lucky Loughran goes on to lie and says, I noticed the police cars had the roads blocked off and prevented me from going to Cedar Crest. If Brian Lucky Loughran had been coming down Fairview Road, he wasn't. He would first have seen a Canton fire and rescue truck on the right, followed by the ambulance on the left, not any police cruiser. Listen to Brian Loughran lie and perjure himself during his testimony from day 27 in the media clip below. And we're going to have to hang tight through some.
To buy the orange coin, but these snot-nosed kids are flipping their allowance into way better gains with smaller under the radar.
Almost there. Stand by, yeah. Okay.
So, what is your best estimate of this third time that you're now approaching Fairview Road?
About 6:15
And that'd be a.m.?
a.m.
On January 29th?
Yes.
Now, this time when you approached Fairview Road, did you come from the Cedar Crest side or the Chapman side?
I came from Chapman Street side.
And when you turned, did you turn left or right from Chapman Street to get down to Fairview?
I turned right.
And once you turned right, did something unusual happen?
Yes, I noticed there were blue lights behind me, forcing me to pull over to the side of the road.
Did you recognize the vehicles that had, or vehicle? I didn't ask you if there was more than one, but did you recognize what type of vehicle or vehicles there were?
Yes, they were police vehicles.
Which vehicle was traveling more quickly, the police vehicle or Franken truck?
The police vehicles.
What were you doing with your snowplow after the police passed you?
I continued down Fairview.
Coming down Fairview, did you actually lose sight of the police cruiser that had passed you?
I did.
How many side streets are there when you're coming down Fairview from Chapman Street?
3.
What are they?
Wyndham, Old Ridge Hill, and then Carriage Lane.
Now, you're now coming down Fairview Road. What did you notice ultimately in front of you in the road?
I noticed the police cars had the road blocked off and preventing me from going to Cedar Crest.
And with regard to the lighting on those police... With regard to the lighting on those police vehicles as the road was blocked off, could you describe that for the jury?
Sure, they had all their blue lights on, and they were parked blocking the road, the entire road. I couldn't get through.
How well lit was it in the area where the police were?
Very well lit.
Okay, so that'll give you just a idea. I've showed you that footage, but I mean, it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. I mean, perjury. It's so obvious. I mean, I showed you Sergeant. I mean, we can watch Sergeant Sarah's dash cam if you want.
Anywhere from $50 to
But
$300 a day with this.
it's a lie.
We're being told to buy the orange coin.
If this were
Shoe
a
brands have been
police
lying to
officer,
you. Do you
hold
want to
on
know
one second.
why? Nobody believed me at first, but now everyone wants a pair.
Officer Sarah, what's up on the screen? Is that what you recall as far as the sort of visibility and roadway conditions when you first left the church?
Didn't happen. Didn't happen. But yet, this is going to be another one of Karen Reed's myths that
my electricity bill dropped from $150.
That Lucky Loughran saw a Ford Edge there was a Ford Edge. I think if he saw anything, he saw either Carrie Roberts' car, if he saw anything that day. But anyway, that is just one of the myths. One of the myths in the Karen Reed case. Wanted to share that. Also, how's everybody doing? Unreal, right? Thanks. I have a couple people to thank. Quickly. Marcy, Denton, Tammy Shepard, and Jan Kershaw. Thank you for your support on Venmo. Thank you, Tammy, for upping your pledge on Patreon. I appreciate it. If you want to support the show, links are in the description of this episode. You can send me a Venmo, buy me a coffee, or become a Patreon member. Also, to show you guys just quickly, this is just a quickie for today. Justice for John O'Keefe website has this up, this statement. Statement on the Norfolk District Attorney's Office and the ongoing failure to protect victims and witnesses. We speak out today not only for the family and friends of John O'Keefe, but for every person who has ever made the brave choice to cooperate with law enforcement in pursuit of justice and paid the price for doing so. John O'Keefe was a beloved son, brother, and friend for over 3 years. What about uncle? This is like one of his most important role, not mentioned. Beloved son, brother, friend, and uncle. Uncle, guardian, caretaker to two children who had just been orphaned. For over 3 years, his family and loved ones, including Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, and Carrie Roberts, placed their faith in our legal system. They came forward immediately. They gave truthful statements to police. They offered their phones, their records, and their lives to scrutiny, despite the heavy costs they have paid to ensure that the only person 3 separate law enforcement agencies, including the FBI and Department of Justice, ever identified as a suspect, i.e. the killer, Karen Reed, was held accountable. She was not. And instead of protection, they were left to fend for themselves. So why hide it? Say Karen Reed. Man, call her an accused killer. The 3 people. Why are we playing games here? While Ms. Reed was surrounded by high-priced PR teams with online influences who waged a brutal, coordinated campaign of harassment, the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office failed to act. Witnesses were stalked in their homes, slandered on social media, and confronted in public. Families were forced into hiding. Careers were impacted. Children were targeted. And through it all, the death threats, the lies, the intimidation, it appears to us that the NCDAO has chosen to leave their witnesses completely on their own. The truth is not complicated. The Massachusetts State Police and Norfolk County DA's office already know who's behind this ongoing campaign. They have charged Aidan Carney. They have obtained a search warrant for Karen Reed's digital devices, an action that required a finding of probable cause. The same standard needed to bring criminal charges, and yet no further action has been taken. Now, after a trial that raised troubling questions about the impartiality of some jurors, including individuals with public connections to Ms. Reed's media machine. Is that true? Were there jurors with connections to Karen Reed's media machine? I don't know about that. Karen Reed has been acquitted and emboldened by this outcome. The harassment has only grown worse. Even as Ms. Reed and others appear to profit from the death of John O'Keefe, got to keep the blood money flowing, the people who mourn him continue to be hunted and humiliated for daring to speak the truth. This is not justice. This is not accountability. This is not acceptable. The families affected by this horror circus-like case deserve better from our elected officials. We all do. Well, the way Aidan Carney, if you caught his recent hearing, I don't have any. I just do not think Aidan Carney is going to prison. If you're expecting him to go to prison or get convicted of any of this, if he gets convicted of one of these charges, I don't think he's going to do much, if any time. If one of these charges he gets convicted of, he looks. I mean, the judge was so buddy with his defense team, and this is the same judge, Judge Julian, who barred Brennan from getting Aidan Carney's cell phone records. It was only, so let this be a moment. Okay, we all are calling on Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and the Massachusetts State Police to fulfill their most basic duty to protect those who come forward in good faith and to prosecute those who seek to obstruct justice through violence, threats, and manipulation. Let this be the moment when someone finally stands up and says enough. Let it be known that in Norfolk County and in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, cooperating with law enforcement does not make you a target. It makes you a citizen. And anyone who seeks to harm or silence a witness will be held accountable to the full extent of the law. We will not stop speaking out, but everyone has stopped speaking out. We will not stop fighting for John. Where was everyone at the trial? Where was the support for John? I'm in New York City, but where was the local support for him? And we demand that those with the power to act finally do so. You have to be really tough to fight these innocence fraud campaigns, and I get it. It's not a pleasant task, but a statement isn't enough. It isn't enough. So that's what I have for today. Just a quickie. But I will be back with more true crime reporting very soon. I'll see you all then. Have a great night, everyone.
I hit my boyfriend with my car. It wasn't an accident, but with lying lawyers I'll go far. Lying lawyers and witness harassment. I'll avoid prison. It was snowing. I pushed the pedal down, hit him hard. Now the legal system I clown. Innocence, fraud campaign to save my skin. Making money, truth is my second victim. Carry, carry, gin, gin. Like John, you were my mark. My innocence fraud campaign is my biggest hit. Yeah. I hit my boyfriend with my car. It wasn't an accident, but with lying lawyers I'll go far. Lying lawyers and witness harassment. I'll avoid prison. It was snowing. I pushed the pedal down, hit him hard. Now the legal system I clown.